So this week I only have one cake. I'm doing a birthday cake. It's a 6-inch cake for a returning client, and her name is actually Ebony. So I'm super excited to make her 40th birthday cake. Already made my cake batter already. She ordered a vanilla cake. I like to line my pans with I guess it's called cake goop, you can call it. So it's basically 1 part flour, 1 part vegetable shortening, and 1 part vegetable oil. And I mix it on a medium level in my KitchenAid, and that is what I use to line my pans. I like using this over using like the aerosol sprays, Baker's Joy, things like that. I used to use Go, but I recently started using this, I would say probably about a year, and it has been working great because it does not make you cough a lot like those type of aerosol cans do. So I like to use this on the inside of my cake pans before I start to add my cake batter to my pans. So I'm just going to use a pastry brush and brush that around on the bottom of my pans. Okay, I like to put a nice amount, and then I always make sure I get my sides as well, because we don't want our cake sticking to our pans. We want them to come easily out of our pans. And so this is how that looks. So I will do all 3 pans. So I like to use 3 layers of cakes when I make my custom cakes. Now, sometimes I will use 4 layers depending on the design of the cake. If it has to be like a super tall cake, then I will use 4 layers. But for this cake, I'm going to use 3 layers of vanilla cake. So now I'm going to just go ahead and toss these in the oven, which I've already preheated to 340 degrees. All right, all 3 cakes are baked and they have been chilled. Now I'm just gonna let them cool a little bit more on my baker's rack. So I'm just gonna take all 3 out and set them on here. And again, I'm gonna let these set out for about 10-15 minutes so they can get completely chilled, and then we will wrap them up in our plastic wrap. All right, now the cakes have been chilled down. They are cool to the touch. Now I'm ready to level my cakes. So to level my cakes, I do like using a cake leveler over using a knife. You can use a knife, but I just like to be really consistent with all of my layers. I want them to be pretty much the same height. So I like using a leveler. So I just open this up and lock it in place. Now, these cake levelers, they do have numbers on the side, so you can make them as short as you would like, okay? You can also make it as tall as you would like as well. So you just twist that and lock it in, and then you just start cutting your cake. But I usually level my cakes at either a 7 or a 6, depending on how tall I want my cakes. So before I cut my cake, I do kind of put it next to my cake to see, oh, is that how tall or how short I want it? And this actually is a little too short. I want it taller. So I'm gonna bump it up to a number 7. And you want to make sure you are selecting the same number on each side. If you don't, your cake will not be level. You want your knife to cut the same exact size on the whole cake. So I'm just going to take my leveler. Again, I'm going to bump it up against my cake just to make sure that is where I want to cut it. And then I'll go ahead and start using my leveler to cut the cake. So now I've leveled all 3 layers. I covered all 3 layers in plastic wrap a couple of times. I pushed out all of the air that I could. Now I'm ready to freeze my cake layers. So if you've watched any of my cake videos, you know that I decorate my cakes when the cake layers are frozen. In my opinion, it is the best and easiest way to decorate a cake. It makes it a lot easier to work with, and it prevents a lot of bulging that you normally will see when you are decorating a cake while it's still soft. So I definitely recommend freezing your cake layers for at least 24 hours before decorating. So I'll be back tomorrow to decorate this beautiful cake with you guys. But before tomorrow starts, I wanted to just hop on here just to give you a little background of how I do my layers. Also, I just wanted to say I am back here on YouTube. I know I took a little brief hiatus away for a few months. I did have some subscribers reach out to me just to ask me if I was okay or if everything was okay. And so to answer you guys' question, yes, everything has been great. I have still been making cakes for new and returning clients. I also started working at a cake school, and that's definitely a dream come true of mine. So that is what's been keeping me so busy. Also, I've been just learning a lot of different things as far as making YouTube videos. And I know personally, I feel like I have to tell myself, okay, this is enough learning that you're going to get right now. Go ahead and start applying that learning instead of watching video after video after video. So needless to say, that's another reason why it took me a while just to get back on here, but I am back, you guys. I'm super excited to share so many things in my cake world. So I will see you guys tomorrow when we decorate this beautiful cake. So I'm back, day 2, 24 hours later. The cakes are nice and frozen. They are solid to the touch. They are gonna be great when it comes to decorating, again, because that buttercream seizes up and it just holds everything in. So today I'm gonna put the cake layers together by putting buttercream in between. Then I'm gonna put a crumb coat on the cake, which is a base coat for your cakes. It seals in all of the crumbs. Then I'm gonna do a final coat, and then I'm gonna decorate. So my client, she did send me 2 inspiration pictures to choose from. Her colors are black, white, and gold, and again, it is a 40th birthday cake. So I'm just going to incorporate the 2 designs that she sent me to use to decorate this cake. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with putting the buttercream in between the layers and doing the crumb coat. So I'm gonna start out just by stirring my buttercream that I already prepared. This is American buttercream. Now I do sell this recipe on my website. It's actually an ebook that has the recipe in there, as well as a video tutorial on how I make my buttercream. And if you're interested in getting the recipe, you can go to my website, ebbecakes.com, and purchase it. This buttercream works really, really well under fondant. It works on buttercream covered cakes, and it works very well on cupcakes as when you are piping them. So it's a really, really good buttercream, and it's not too sweet. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and pick that up. So I like to use a dollop of buttercream on my cake board or my cake drum before I place my first cake layer on my cake board. It helps adhere my cake to my cake board so it won't be sliding around. So I just press it on there, and I also make sure it is centered perfectly. So now I'm just making sure my cake layers are parallel to each other so my cake won't be lopsided. Now that I have all 3 layers stacked and ready to go, I'm ready to finish adding on my crumb coat to my cake. So this is my smaller offset spatula. I'm gonna switch over to my larger offset spatula to start to put my crumb coat on my cake. So now I have my cake fully covered. You do still see a little bit of cake, but that's okay because again, this is a crumb coat. We're just sealing in all of the crumbs. This is going to chill in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back and put the final coat of buttercream on the cake. Now the cake has been in the freezer for about 15 minutes. The crumb coat is nice and firm. This is a really good base. So now I'm just gonna add on the final coat of buttercream. Then I'm gonna get right to decorating. So here we are all done with our finished product, 40th birthday cake with our gold, black, and white decor for my client who is on her way to come and pick this up. So I am going to box this up and put some nice cake here labels on it. However, if you have made it this far to this video, thank you so much. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos that I post. It was so much fun decorating with you guys, and I will see you on the next video.